Yeah, I'm eating. Here's more flying. Also, hey Greg, I don't know what that means, man. Type more. I don't understand what the question is. Sorry, man. Smooth brain, remember.
Hell yeah.
I'll see you next weekend, hopefully.
Cool.
I'll probably be working Saturday and Sunday.
All right. Yeah, it'll be fun.
It's good to go?
Sometimes.
Hey! My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me a skinny bastard. Or CiottiFPV. That too.
But, let's see what it sounds like.
This is your public daily live stream. Here's how it's gonna work. How many people we got in here? 21 people? Here's how it's gonna work from now on, I think. There's gonna be a 30-minute to 1 hour long daily live stream that's public. And then it's gonna switch over to a Patreon only live stream for another hour or 2 or 3. Yeah, I just need to turn the wick up on the Patreon. I need to be able to buy a car. I need to be able to get health insurance. So yeah, and also with the public streams, the only feedback I usually get is, hey, make your stream shorter. So public streams are gonna, people ask for it, so I'm gonna do it. Public streams are gonna be a lot shorter, and then for $3 whole a month, kind of stealing this idea from Mark Spatz. Mark Spatz puts out an edit that's like 10 minutes long, and then he says at the end of the edit, hey, if you want to go into the deep dive for another half an hour, jump on my Patreon. So yeah, I'm going to do a similar thing. So I have 2 streams scheduled for today. One of them started 13 minutes ago, where we're going to finish up the Prototype 5. And then at 7 o'clock, in 45 minutes from now, it's going to be a private stream. Patrons are going to get a post about it. Oh, Christ, I didn't post about these. See, I need to do that. Patrons are going to get a post about it over on Patreon, so they're going to get an email. And in the Patreon-specific groups over on Discord, there's going to be a notification sent out. If you don't like it, sorry. I need to keep the lights on. I need to get a car. I need to get health insurance. I don't do you guys any good if I'm dead or unable to drive to spots to fly. So, yeah, that's just going to be the way it is. If that's unacceptable to you, and you have to unsubscribe, I don't understand. But, you know, you can do what you want. So, yeah, hopefully an hour of free content every single day is enough to earn your continued subscription. And if it's not, then, you know, look deep into your soul and try to understand why you think that everyone should give you everything for free. Because that's just not the way it works here in the real world, man. We got to be able to eat. We got to be able to not die. We got to be able to drive around. This is my full-time job. If you'd like to support me, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. The very top button is my Patreon page. For $3 whole a month, that is 10 cents a day, you're going to get 2 to 3 additional hours of live streaming every single day. And if that's not worth 10 cents a day, then eat me. There's also a lot of really good articles over there on PID tuning, filter tuning. I post a lot of good clearance stuff so you can save some money. There are audio versions of these streams so that you can just listen to them on RSS as a podcast. You get full access to my Discord page. You get access to the Facebook group, CiottiFPV, or the Micro King's Castle with Ciotti. You also get access to Ciotti's Swap and Shop over on Facebook. A million different things going on for just 10 cents every single day. You can do it. I know that you can. There's just no way that you can't find $3 a month in your budget. That's just the way it is. Like, that's less than a cup of coffee. So, you know, if you get a cup of coffee every day, skip 1 day per month, and you'll be good to go. In the chat, Finn FPV was first, T-Bird FPV came next, Greg Womack, Solo FPV, Matthew Vega, Orga A, Greg Womack, Mr. Huggy, Slat FPV, Quad Ken, License to Drive, Kudo FPV, CMYK, Drone Pilot, Greg Womack again, David Fowl, Somatic, Chuck Toast, DQ, Mr. Huggy, T-Bird again, Dauntless FPV, Blizzard FPV, trying to work my way through the repeats. Michael Blade, Double A in the house, Orga, Shenanigan, Kudo FPV, Scott RC Roscoe Gillen, David Fall, Freelojo, Blizzard FPV, License to Drive again, Daltz with a $10 super chat. Look at that crazy emoji. How'd you get that emoji? What's up, Daltz? How are you, man? He says deal with it. And Zoomer FPV. What's up, friends? If you'd like to talk directly to me in the chat, all you've got to do is type my name. And this goes for everyone. If you copy and paste somebody's name, it'll light up in orange for that person, so they'll know that you're talking to them. So if you want to talk directly to me and have me read your comment, you got to do that. You got to type my name, just like in the real world, you know. You don't just like start talking at people. You say like, "Hey, Jim," and then you talk. So same thing in the chat. Type my name. It'll light up in orange. I'll know that you're talking to me, and I'll read your comment, answer your question, or just you know, laugh sometimes. Greg Womack said, how do you change the way the switches are read? I'm not getting all the range. Greg, type a little bit more. Give me a little bit more to go off of. I'm not totally sure what you're asking. So yeah, tag me again, type a little bit more. It sounds like that's going to be an OpenTX question, and I don't really go into OpenTX. I've had like the same models set up for 4 years, and they just kind of work. So I'm not the best resource of OpenTX knowledge. Whenever I have an OpenTX question, I just type my question into YouTube, and there'll usually be a Bardwell video or a Project Blue Falcon video, or I'll type it into Google, and then there'll be an Oscar Liang post. So that's typically how I troubleshoot OpenTX. But if you give me a little bit more info, I might actually be able to help you out. There's a chance. Kudo FPV saying hi. CMYK saying hello. Drone Pilot saying hello. Greg Womack says can't get three-way switch to B, and then he says can't get full range of switch. Wow, I have no idea. I've never had to deal with that. The three-way switches are always just all the way down in the middle and then all the way up. David Fall says, let's get into this build. David, the build is pretty much done. Yesterday's stream, and I believe the day before, we did 99% of the work. All I really need to do here today is drop these standoffs down a little bit shorter in between the stacks, drop the top plate on, and it's done. So yeah, if you want to really actually see this build, yesterday, the day before, you can follow along the whole thing. I pretty much did the entire build. Rob Axelson says, you got to check out Rotor Riot's new sim. I don't really spend much time on the simulators. I find that they really mess with my muscle memory, unfortunately. So I probably won't, but if I see like a YouTube video of it, I'll take a look at it, but I probably won't try it myself. Blizzard FPV says, skinny bastard, I am indeed. Rob Axelson says, hey Gangly Man, check out the new sim from Rotor Riot. Finn FPV is in the house. He says, have you seen the new RunCam Hybrid 2 yet? I think they just announced it. I think that they announced, I think that's been out for a couple months. The HD feed is exactly the same. The FPV feed is a little bit better. I don't really have a problem with the Hybrid 1 FPV feed, so I won't be getting the Hybrid 2. I also have like 4 of the Hybrid 1s, so I really don't need another one. But yeah, if you're in the, I'm a huge fan of the RunCam Hybrid, and there was a time when the Hybrid 2 first came out where the Hybrid 1s were on clearance, and I believe I posted them over on the Patreon page as like a clearance item, like a hot clearance item. That's kind of what I do. When I find like a clearance item on a website or multiple websites that's actually like a good thing, I'll post it on the Patreon page. Most clearance stuff is just trash, right? Like there's a reason that it's going on clearance. But yeah, I'd posted that a while back. I think by now they're all gone, but they were only discounted by like $10. So yeah, if you're looking for really, really good onboard HD, let me also give you guys a quick edit of mine so that you can see the quality that you can get from that camera. I've got an edit called 4-inch motion, where I had one of those cameras on a 4-inch prototype frame that Bob had sent me, sort of like the precursor to the 4Ride. And I'm dropping a link in the chat right now. There you go. So that's the quality that you can expect from a RunCam Hybrid 1 or 2, because the HD sensor is identical. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. It is pretty damn good. And they've also been pretty reliable. Like the previous split cams were kind of fragile, but the RunCam Hybrid, I've yet to break one. And that's a big deal because, you know, it's fully enclosed. So in theory, you can really build a basher with it, which is pretty exciting. Michael Blade saying, hello. Blizzard FPV saying, how do we address this Insta360 Go app being total dog shit for Android users? Man, I have no idea, Blizzard. I'm an Apple guy. Get an iPhone. That's the solution. Don't crash. That's the solution. Yeah, I mean the Insta360 Go app isn't all that great on iPhones either. They're a small company, so it's yeah, but I have no solutions for you, man. Sorry. Orga A says, I broke off the plastic connector on the balance lead. Is it dangerous to try to fix it on my own? There was some just when the wires touched. So Orga, it's very dangerous, man. Like, be super careful. When that happens to me, what I do is I take pieces of electric tape and I isolate each individual balance lead wire until I get home, and then when I retire an old battery, I discharge it all the way down to nothing, and then I steal the balance lead off of it. So I have a bunch of extra balance leads. So then I take those extra balance leads, I extract whatever remaining pins are on the broken one, and then I very, very, very carefully put them in. Be super careful. It's totally doable, but just be really careful. Yeah, you'll be fine. Double A is here. What's up, brother? Scott says, what's up? What flight controller and motors do you recommend for the Glide? So I really don't have a recommendation on flight controllers. They've discontinued both of my favorite ones, the Acon V1.1 and the Talon F7. So at the moment, I actually don't have a flight controller recommendation, unfortunately, in terms of 2020. If you're doing a 30x30 flight controller, the Acon 30x30 is top notch. And then motors, I'm in a weird place with motors too. I've always recommended T-Motor F40 Pro 2s and now Pro 4s, but there's a little bit of weirdness going on with the Pro 4s, so I'm a little bit hesitant to recommend them. I talked on yesterday's stream about what I think my solution is to kind of fix the issue with the Pro 4s, but I haven't tested that yet. Once I get this prototype 5 up in the air, I will be testing that solution to see if it works. But yeah, the manufacturers just like discontinue products way too quickly, and like by the time I've tested something enough to say like, hey, this holds up to a lot of abuse, they discontinue it on me, and then the whole like 6-month testing cycle begins again, and then they discontinue the damn things again. So what I can say is that the T-Motor F40 Pro 4s are very durable. It's just they're not like infinitely durable, which is where I'm running into this problem. So realistically, for most people, you probably won't run into the issues that I'm running into, especially if you don't crash really hard on concrete constantly, which I do. So yeah, T-Motor F40 Pro 4s, or if you want to save some money, the best cheap deal is the Newbie Drone Crazy Motor deal, the 2306.5s, which are like $11 and change per motor for a titanium shaft motor, which is absolutely unheard of. But those are heavy. Those are like 33 plus gram motors, which are going to feel way different than these nice lightweight F40 Pro 4s. So, yeah, I gotta... it's really pissing me off that all my favorite stuff, it keeps getting discontinued. David Fall says, I'm signing up for your Patreon now. Very cool, David. Hate to sort of like force you guys into it, but I kind of have to. You know, I've been doing these like Patreon only daily streams that are public, and it's a lot of work. You know, I'm putting like 2 to 4 hours a day every day into them, and I haven't really seen the Patreon increase much. And yeah, I just kind of need it to in order for me to keep doing this full time. So I hate to feel like I'm holding you guys hostage, but I'm just kind of doing what I got to do to survive as a full-time FPV person, which is kind of a crazy thing to do. Don't do it. It's not what you think it is. Freelo just says, yo, the Small Yeet 3 build and tuning has commenced. It's a bit fat, 313 grams all up weight. Wow. Yeah, that is big. Jeez. Well, it'll fly similar to like an 800 gram 5-inch rig. So, you know, if you're flying an 800 gram 5-inch rig, it'll be apples to apples. So, let us know how it goes for sure. YouTube just did the thing. There's Daltz's $10 super chat again. Thanks again, brother. You are the man. Zoomer FPV says, how long have you been in FPV? Zoomer, I started a little over 4 years ago. My best friend in the world, Brad McManus, who I'd met about 15 years ago in airsoft, and we ran an airsoft business together and a team, and went all up and down the East Coast, and spent about 10 years like really heavy into airsoft, building really gnarly custom guns and doing all kinds of fun stuff. We after we kind of burned airsoft out, we didn't have a shared hobby. I got into motorsports, he got into motorcycles. And then, yeah, like a little over 4 years ago, he got a Tiny Whoop. And for Christmas that year, he sent me a Blade Nano QX, I think it was. A little line of sight 3D rig, actually. And it's funny, I had picked up, over like the previous 5 years to that, I'd picked up a couple of those dumbass, like, you know, sharper image, inside the house, infrared, they're not collective pitch, but, you know, like the counter-rotating stupid little foam bastards with the built-in battery. And I'd gotten like somewhat competent being able to like actually fly those stupid, horrible little things around inside without crashing constantly. So when he sent me this one, which had an actual PID loop in it, and it was a quad instead of a counter-rotating, you know, with a pusher on the back, I was just blown away by the flight characteristics. Like I couldn't believe how well the PID loop worked, and it was like locked in angle mode, but still, like I just couldn't believe the stability of it, and I was kind of fascinated by it. And then for that same Christmas, I bought him and mailed him a. He lives up in New Jersey, where I grew up. At this time, I was living in Charleston, South Carolina. For that same Christmas, I sent him a Tiny Whoop with a camera built in, so he could get he could get into the FPV side of things. And then he was like, "Dude, you got to join me in the FPV thing." And it took me a while. It took me like 4 or 5 months until my birthday, actually in April. And I bought myself the OG Baby Hawk, the white Baby Hawk, and that was my first FPV rig. And then it's just all been downhill from there. Rob Oxison says, hey, oh, we got that. Espander says, hi. June Loco says, what's up? Dalt says, check your OpenTX endpoints on the aux channels. It's too damn low. So yeah, whoever was asking the question about the 3-position switches, there you go. Dalt has a solution for you. Thank you, brother. Rob Oxison says, at least check out the trailer. Yeah, I'll definitely check out the trailer when I see it on YouTube. Probably tonight after the streams. Kudo FPV says, any ideas when you think the new batch of prototype 5s are dropping, or do they already sell out again? I know Kebab just got a big shipment of stuff, so it's not great news if they're not in stock. I know there was a ton of stuff in stock during my stream last night, and a whole bunch of people were using my affiliate link. Hey, by the way, over on CiottiFPV.com, I have affiliate links to Amazon, FPV Cycle, FPV Crate, Get FPV, Banggood, a whole bunch of shops, Oh My God Store, Camera Butter, AliExpress. So if you're doing orders on any one of those websites and you want me to get some money for free so I can keep doing this, just hit those affiliate links. A couple people have replaced their bookmarks to those websites with my affiliate links so that they don't even have to think about it. Whenever they click their bookmark for Get FPV, they automatically click my affiliate link in their bookmark bar, and that drops my code into their cart. And it's just 1 to 6% of your order that comes to me, and then I piss it away on more nonsense for testing. There's also a Teespring store with some cool shirts and mugs and sweatshirts. There's an Etsy store with some cool random hardware, like kind of specific stuff, like M2x5 screws that might screw you when you have a 3mm thick micro arm that requires that length because the motors never come with the right length screws. And a whole bunch of really fun stickers, including Clam Man, of course. He never wants you guys to give up. What do you think of that?
諦めんなよ諦めんなお前どうしてそこでやめるんだそこでもう少し頑張ってみろよダメダメやめ諦めたら周りのことを思うよ応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろってあともうちょっとのところなんだから俺だってこのマイナス10度のところしじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ絶対やってみろ必ず目標達成できるだからこそネバギブアップ
So yeah, there you go. And there's some other stuff going on over there. Scroll to the very bottom of the page. There's some BattleBots info. You're gonna love it. And then click some stuff down here if you'd like. Thumbs ups, the bell thing, subscribe, whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Yeah, Kudo. Message FPV Cycle. They'll get back to you. Blizzard FPV says Rotorite Sim is Flappy Quad. I have no idea what that means, Blizzard. LOL, I guess I'll just buy an Apple phone and start flying DJI. Yeah, there you go. That's definitely the answer, Blizzard. And if you ever have any reliability problems with your quads, the answer is definitely just to stop crashing. That's definitely the answer. Just don't even fly. Don't even fly. That's the real answer. If you ever have any problems in FPV, the answer that most of the internet is going to give you is just to don't even fly. Don't crash. Don't even fly. Just build stuff and then just put it on the shelf. And then that's what this hobby should really be, according to most people on Facebook. If I see, never mind. Drone Pilot says 20x20 flight controller best and future proof is the Holy Bro V2, not V3. It's F722. V2 is F745 with all UARTs, I2C broken out, and you can't beat 745 barometer, all firmware. So there you go. Drone Pilot thinks that the Holy Bro V2 is the way to go in terms of 20x20s. Dragon Wing rather says, what's up? Hope all is good. Certainly is, Dragon Wing. Hope all is well from you. Kudos from Jersey, very cool. Yeah, I was born in Princeton. I grew up in Trenton, and then I went to college in Ewing, and then after college I moved down to Cherry Hill, Maple Shade area. Scrolling. YouTube just did the thing, of course. Drone Pilot says, oh, well, I've been vigilant lately, ensuring I use your affiliate links. Keep your page open just to click it again before the items I want. It's a no-brainer, even small items. Very cool, Drone Pilot. Much appreciated for getting me some of that free money. All right, so I am caught up on chat. Let's dig into the Prototype 5. We've got about a half an hour left here before this goes over to a Patreon stream. That should be plenty of time to just basically drop this flight controller down a little bit lower here. So here's the issue. On the bottom of the top plate, the rear of the GoPro mount, hold on. The rear of the GoPro mount needs these press nuts installed in the bottom of the top plate because there's no standoffs for the rear of the GoPro mount to jack into. And then these press nuts are kind of thick. Well, then I've got this big ass 30x30 stack in here, and unfortunately, once I put this top plate on, the press nut is directly above the front mounting points. Yeah, you can see it there, and it just smashes right into that nut. So actually, not only do I have to, well, yeah, I have to run a shorter screw as well. So I actually have to take this entire stack off. God damn it! I didn't even realize that. All right, yeah, so I have to go down to, these are M3x20s at the moment. I'm going to have to go down to M3x18s. And these are 5mm spacers between the flight controller and the ESC. I'm going to have to go down to 3mm spacers, which luckily I think I do have a full set of those. So last night before I realized this issue, I showed you guys a cool little trick with Welder, how to make sure that your stack nuts don't back off. And so basically, to make sure your little stack nuts don't back off here, come on Logitech, do something for once. Okay, so you see over here, I scraped it off with my finger, but over here, you see that like kind of residue? That's Welder. That's contact cement. And basically, to keep these nuts from backing off, I just put a blob of it on there, and it sticks in the middle to the top of the screw, and then it sticks on the outside to the plastic of the nut, and now this nut won't back out, and it won't fall off. And then if you need to get it off, you just use your goddamn fingernail, and you just scrape it right off, and you're good to go. See? Just like that. And it comes off in one big piece. I guess you could also use hot glue, but I find that Welder is a lot stickier than hot glue. If you don't know what Welder is, scroll down to my description. At the very bottom, there's a tools section, and I do have a link to it. It's really good stuff. You can just think about it as better hot glue. And also, I really like it because it doesn't, like hot glue, like if you hot glue your VTX, the VTX will get hot enough to kind of like melt and kind of ruin the hot glue. Whereas Welder doesn't do that. Welder doesn't care about heat like that. So you can just kind of use it everywhere. You don't have to like think, ooh, is this component going to get too hot for this? Like you don't even have to think about that. You just use it where you need it and it's good to go. So just scraping off the rest of the Welder from these guys so that I can remove this flight stack and shorten up the standoffs and the stack screws. Metal Dirtskin says, why not use M3 Nylock nuts? Too expensive? No, these little plastic nuts, A, they're lighter, but B, these are only 2 millimeters tall. Those Nylock nuts are between they're like 4.5 millimeters tall. And on this build, I don't have that kind of space above it because of the exact issue that I'm running into here with these press nuts. All right, so we got this, so I'm not going to be able to use these 5 millimeter spacers anymore, so I will put them away when I get out the 3 millimeter ones. And so now oh man. This ESC is not going to have enough play in it. All right, so I need to do a little bit of fast fingering. That's weird. Rob Oxison says, got to start cooking, be safe. Greek salad, lamb shanks. Mr. Huggy says, if it's like the 4-ride, it only has room for less than 50 millimeter high stacks. This has a little bit more room than that. Drone pilot, testing out T-Motor 55 amp, full throttle. Tiago says, you saved me $20 US, almost forgot to buy a variable power supply on all with discount. Very cool, and caught up on chat. All right. So let me get these stack screws up out of here, and I will replace them with 18s, which should be good to go. I think with 18s and then with a 3 millimeter spacer between this ESC and the flight controller, I believe I have just enough room for that. But we're gonna find out in a minute. I don't need such a big boy here. Let's go with a WeHub because it's a little smaller and we can spin it a little faster. All right. So let's just do one to test. I'm not going to remove all 4 of these yet. I mean, I kind of have to no matter what, but we'll just do one to test for the sake of making sure that everything's going to be okay first. So let me just confirm that this is a 20. Sure enough. All right, so this is a 20, so we've got 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So that fella goes in there, and then so that means these are the 18s, right? No, this is a 25. Oh, here's an 18. Oh, and it's titanium. Perfect. Yep, 18. So the only spot that you should really be using titanium hardware is on your stack. Pretty much everywhere else is going to take too much punishment for titanium, and you're just going to run into issues with it stripping out. It's just not the right material. Damn. I might not have enough. Oh, I do. I just need to get my little kit out of here and steal 2 of the little 3mm spacers out of it. All right, cool. We're gonna be good to go here. I can't build the second one of these though. I'm not gonna have enough hardware for it. But yes, there we go. Okay, so there's a 3mm. Here's 2 more 3mm here. And then I should have 1 more in this little kit. Seabird says that's what she said. Espander says the new Rotorite sim is the shit. Nothing comes even close to it. Chicken did a great job making it. Every other sim is officially dead. You better download it before Sunday's stream. I mean, if it's that good, maybe I actually will. I wasn't really planning on it. But we'll see. Okay, so there's 2 more there. And oh, I actually have a bunch. Okay, we're good. I have a bunch of these. There's an additional 2 in there. Okay, cool. So that's good. That's a 30mm. So that can hang out in there. Okay, so let me leave this out. And Finn says, gotten fair share of awesome free content and entertainment from you. Finally subbed to Patreon. Let's get this man some health insurance. People, come on. Thanks, brother. Ricardo says, does wiring a VTX to the 9-volt pad give cleaner signal instead of 5-volt? Not really. And there aren't many VTXs that'll go both ways. Usually VTXs either require 5-volt, and if you send them 9-volt, they'll catch on fire, or they require VBAT. And typically 5 volts is not enough VBAT for for a VTX that requires VBAT. So, but the technical answer to your question is no. It's not going to be any cleaner. Hooking a VTX up to a BEC like that, the reason why it can potentially give you slightly cleaner video is basically just because the BEC itself is going to act a little bit like a filter. So whether that's a 5-volt or a 9-volt BEC, it doesn't really matter. Just the fact that it's a BEC is where that little bit of an advantage kind of comes from. All right, so here's an M3x18, and you really want to make sure you crank these things down good so that they don't back out. They have an incredible ability to back out on you. Okay, so that's there. Let me drop this down. I'm going to put another one of these 3mm spacers on here, and then I'm just going to drop this flight controller down and see what happens. Make sure that it is actually going to clear everywhere that it needs to clear. My hunch is that it will, but not testing it and doing all 4 of these is a stupid idea. So let's just get this knocked out real quick here, make sure it's going to work, and then we can do the other 3, hopefully. If this isn't going to work, I don't really know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I kind of need this to work. So let's see. Oh yeah, we're totally fine. Totally fine. Good to go. Moving on. Let's get these other ones knocked out, and then we're gonna be really running up on 7 o'clock here. I might actually need to push the the Patreon only stream just a little bit because I would like to get this done. But let's see. Let me just go full speed ahead and see what we can make happen. Dragon Wing says Captain Hanover said the Rotor Riot sim was like putting on the goggles for the first time. I thought he must be kidding, but he wasn't. It's mind-blowing. That's pretty cool. I'm willing to bet, though, that it won't work on my computer. So, yeah, that's usually why I don't bother with anything other than Velocidrone. I'm just on a very, very old, very, very weak computer. But hopefully they put options in there to really scale down all the graphics, and then maybe maybe my computer will have a fighting chance. I also don't really understand the simulators that look like beautiful, because that's not really a simulator at that point. It's a video game, and video games are cool and all, but I don't really have time for video games in my life. Like, if I'm gonna use a simulator, it needs to be a simulator, and for me, I want it to simulate, and that means that it should actually kind of look like ass, since that's what we fly through. So hopefully it's not one of these sims that like the Grand Theft Auto sim mod thing. Like, it looks super beautiful. But it's not a simulator. It's a video game, right? Like, it's not really simulating anything. It's more simulating like as if you were able to fly through a GoPro, which we can't yet. Although, actually, I forget. Now all you fancy bastards are on DJI. I guess that's not true anymore. But it's still true for me. For me, a simulator should look like ass. And with the settings all turned down on Velocidrone, it most certainly looks like ass. Which is definitely not their fault. That's 100% my fault for having a 12-year-old's computer. But you work with what you got, man. That's always been my approach to kind of life. I've never really had enough money to do the hobbies and whatnot properly, as lots of people say. I've always kind of been on a shoestring budget, but I've always been able to get good shit done. Back with photography, I was able to produce some pretty amazing looking images with like a couple $100 worth of gear. And in motorsports, I always had like the cheapest possible car options. And then I would really work my ass off to find used parts that would cost me like basically half as much as buying the parts new. And I was able to do really well there too. Bunch of regional championships, bunch of driver of the years, and a big long time doing instructions. Did this just strip out? Get the fuck out of here. No way. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Wow, how the hell did this... Okay. I really did not need that to happen. Because now I have an odd number of these goddamn things. These goddamn things being M3 3mm spacers. What the hell? Really? Yeah, the titanium screw definitely didn't strip out. Well, there's that. That sucks a big bag of dicks. Let's just grab another one. Damn, how the hell? That's really weird. That stripped out. I don't know when I would have like cranked that really tight to strip it out like that. Very strange. I mean, this titanium screw is a little bit bent, so I mean, I guess maybe that could have done it. If it does it to this one as well, I'll know for sure. Now it's fine. It's definitely not that. Huh. I must have really cranked that spacer down somewhere. Okay. And we got one more here. One more. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right. There we go. Backing it out. Rob Oxison says, just put your head down and check it out. He also says, stop thinking, put down your tool. I don't. What are you saying, Rob? What am I checking out? Leadfinger says, check it out right now. We want to see live reaction. Rob Oxison says, you don't know your own strength. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. So it's a April Fool's joke. Got it. Okay. Cool. I will check it out tonight and hopefully laugh at it. All right. And last one here. Okay. There goes the... God, I hate having to do this all while everything is all together like this. It's so annoying. It's like just such a janky way of doing it, but it's better than having to take the motors off and pull everything out of here. It's worth it to kind of struggle to do it this way, but it is annoying. Okay. If you guys aren't subscribed to Newbie Drone, they had kind of a funny April Fool's thing. They say that they're doing beer, which is kind of interesting. Why are there all... Oh man, I might not have enough of these goddamn things. I might be one shy. I'm not. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, there. And... Oh wait, no, I just need those 3. Okay, awesome. So those guys are all cranked down under the ESC. Now I just need to throw a few of these guys in between the ESC and the flight controller, and then we'll be good to go. And we are at 6:54, so it looks like I just barely got this done in time. So yeah, I mean, this is really the end of the prototype 5 builds. In about 5 minutes, this public daily hour to half an hour stream is going to finish up, and then I'm going to do another stream that is going to be Patreon only. Everybody on my Patreon page is going to get an email through Patreon with the link to that private stream, and they're also going to get a notification in Discord to that private stream. And so yeah, I'll see most of you guys over there. And what we're going to be starting is the 4-inch, the 4-inch freestyle build with the FPV Crate QAV-S Mini. So that should be kind of interesting. I don't really know. I'm not totally sure what motors yet, but I'm going to build the center of the frame first. ESC, flight controller, VTX, all that good stuff, and then I'll figure out motors between now and the finale or whatever of that build. So yeah, there we go. Plenty of room in between the flight controller and the ESC. Throw these plastic nuts up on top here. I'll throw another blob of welders on, like I showed you guys, and we'll be good to go. If you'd like to join my Patreon to keep the streaming going here today and every day, it's going to cost you $3 whole a month. That's less than a cup of coffee each and every month. So in 30 days, if you can't skip 1 cup of coffee for your lanky buddy Ciotti to keep going with FPV, then you'll just have to suffer with only an hour of free content every day. That's going to be hard, but maybe in 20 years from now we learn that coffee is bad for us, and the fact that I encourage you to skip a cup of it makes you live longer. You never know. Actually, I think coffee is technically good for us because it, not for me, it makes me shit immediately. But I think that's actually one of the good things about it, is that it clears your bowels out a little bit, Kristen says caffeine in small doses is not terrible for you. All right, so there it is. Now we have enough clearance for that top plate, and so I can't really put the top plate on because I forgot to file out the battery strap holes. So that's the next thing that has to happen here. But yeah, this top plate is going to go on there. I've got TPU, purple TPU GoPro holder that's going to go on here. Battery strap, 6S 1050s. And away we go. That is the Prototype 5. The next time you guys see it, well, I mean, you won't really see it. You'll see footage from it, basically. Yeah, it'll be me bouncing it off of concrete and cement. Dragonwing says, you're a photographer as well. That is so cool. I am a photographer myself. Wildlife, action, portraits, fashion, few, many genres. Photography was NR1 before I got FPV. Yeah, I did a black and white photography class my 4th year of college for some like free credits, and I really enjoyed it. And then that was back before digital. And then digital came out, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I don't have to do all the work in the Lightroom. In the actual Lightroom. So yeah, I did a bunch of photography in along with motorsports when that was kind of my big thing in my 20s, and kind of drove photography into the ground a little bit. But I've taken a long enough break from it now where it's kind of fun. And then Dragonwing also says, you're 100% right. It's the craftsmen and women who create art, not their tools. So true. Rotten Tomato says, is the stack you're using from the Sub 250 box? It's not rotten. It's the HGLRC stuff that those guys sent me when I made fun of their stuff catching fire on Facebook. Espander says, GTA Sim is crap, but the map is awesome. Whole world at your disposal. Wish there was a way to combine GTA with Velocity and liftoff physics. I've actually never even played GTA 5, believe it or not. FPV Trucker says, 2207, 2400, what should I set the scale to run 5S or 6S? FPV Trucker, start at 70%, and then you can change it in the OSD. So start at 70%, and then take off, fly around a little bit. If it's too much power, you can scale it down. If it's not enough, you can scale it up. And then Athix says, is 600 milligrams of caffeine too much? I have no idea, Athix. I can't do the caffeine thing. It ruins my butthole. Thanks for coming. What?
You're okay with tea.
That's true. Thanks for coming to your daily public live stream. I'm going to chop this one here, and in a minute there's going to be a Patreon only live stream coming up. I'm going to be over there for the next like 2 or 3 hours hanging out with those folks. If you want to be a member of the Patreon page, it's going to cost you 10 whole cents a day. A dime a day. Come on, you know you can do it. CiottiFPV.com, and then the top button is Patreon. You can join, and then you'll get the notifications every single day when I do those longer streams. So see all of you awesome patrons in a minute. All of you non-patrons, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you again tomorrow for half an hour, an hour. Thanks for coming. See you in a minute, guys.